What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video at Axe Entertainment. I am your host, Zack Axe, bringing you another edition of WWE's Weekly Awards listing for 9/22 to 9/26. Now, this is a week in wrestling that I thought overall was just okay. Raw, Smackdown, and NXT all put on pretty decent shows. Nothing too amazing. NXT had some very cool moments, but let's get right into it. We're going to go ahead and start with Match of the Week. So for Match of the Week, I'm going to honorable mentions to the Women's Triple Threat on SmackDown. I'll tell you guys why that didn't win in the discussion area of the video. Lexis King and Miles Bourne on NXT is going to get an honorable mention. And the War Raiders and Penta versus the New Day on Raw was also very good. All those were in consideration for Match of the Week. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give it to Sami Zayn versus Javon Evans on SmackDown. Javon Evans freaking showed up on SmackDown, and I said a couple weeks ago that if we do this thing where we announce who it's going to be and then we finally have one where it's not announced until they come out, we're going to know it's a surprise. And that happened this week, and it ended up being Javon. This match was so good, so fluent. Every match with Javon is just so good. Every match with Sami is usually pretty good. So these two just put on an absolutely great match. Even being face versus face, it was still a fantastic US Open Challenge, and I want more matches like this from Sami Zayn's Open Challenge. For female MVP, I'm going to give honorable mentions to Lainey Reed, who ended up winning a match on NXT and then not even getting to compete for the title on NXT No Mercy. And then also Tiffany Stratton, who had a chance of winning this award if the match didn't fall apart at the end. So I'm going to give this award to Rhea Ripley, who picked up a big win on Raw over Asuka. I think Asuka is definitely near the top of the card right now in the way she's being presented. So I feel like she kind of has to, that's a big win over a big main eventer, even though, of course, Rhea Ripley is like the biggest main eventer, but still big win against a big superstar. So I'm going to give Rhea Ripley this award. Tiffany was very close to winning if, like I said, the match didn't fall apart at the end. Next up, we have Promo of the Week. For honorable mentions, I'm going to give one to Lola Vice and JC Jane on NXT because their promo is very good. But I am going to give this award to a promo battle between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. They had a very good back and forth. It ended with no shenanigans, nothing, and it was just these two going back and forth. So it started with Cody being very nice to Seth Rollins, just telling him why he likes him so much and why they're besties. And then Seth Rollins was like, well, actually, you've said some stuff that I don't like. And Cody said, well, here's what I think about you. And if you haven't seen that promo is very good. I would encourage you to watch it. These two are one of my favorite feuds that Cody and Seth have ever had. And now they're rekindling it here as both champions. And I'm so excited to see where this feud continues to go from here. Next one I'm going to give out is Team of the Week. Now I'm going to give honorable mention to Julia and Kiana James, who picked up a win, which is a tag team that I'm still surprised they're doing because it just doesn't seem like it's working at all. But they picked up a win, and also Dark State for picking up a win on NXT over Joe Hendry and Hank and Tank. But I'm going to give this award to the Street Profits for beating Melo Don't Miz on Friday Night SmackDown. Now I really think Melo Don't Miz should win here because I do not want to see the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six again. But it looks like we're actually starting to set up a feud with these guys instead of it just being, oh, we won a match and now we're going to a match. It seems like we're starting to plant some seeds to an actual feud with an actual storyline. So if we get that, maybe I won't be as opposed to seeing this match. But as of right now, I really just don't want to see it. So hopefully we get some layers to this feud. And it looks like we're getting layers to the Melo and Miz feud with Melo not breaking up the pin. But I really want to see Melo and Miz win those tag team titles. I think that'd be so great. Miz would win his tag team title with the 7th person. And I think that's probably like the most of all time if he doesn't already have the most of all time. Miz is just so good. The last award I'm going to give out is Male MVP. I'm going to honor mentions for Male MVP to Sami Zayn for picking up a win over Javon Evans, like we talked about, and Miles King for picking up Miles King. I wrote Miles King on my freaking notebook. Miles Bourne for picking up a win over Alexis King is what I meant. But I'm going to give Male MVP to Jey Uso for beating LA Knight on Monday Night Raw. LA Knight's a guy right now that is positioned at the top of the card, even though he's not consistently fighting for the world title, or he's not consistently fighting in that scene. He's consistently pushed on Raw as a main eventer, which is one of the reasons I said I wanted him to go to Raw back when he was on Smackdown, if you guys remember that, way before it even happened. But LA Knight ended up picking up a big loss here to Jey Uso because the Vision came out and Jey Uso is continuing this little storyline where he's not going to help LA Knight or Jimmy, for that matter. Sometimes he's just going to help himself, and kind of a little heelish stuff happening from Jey. So is Jey turning heel? I don't know. We'll have to stay tuned. But there's the awards. Let's get into our few discussion topics. First thing I want to talk about is Piper Niven had some unfortunate news break a little bit earlier last week, and that is that she is battling what is potentially a career-ending injury. Now, she hasn't disclosed or nobody's disclosed what it is at this moment, but it has been said to be career-threatening. So I hope it's not. I hope she's okay and comes back, because I think her stuff, the stuff she's doing now with the Secret Service, is the most entertaining she's been, even though they're not booking her or any of the Secret Service members right. I think it's the most entertaining she's been since she got on the main roster, of course, recovering from Dewdrop and all that terrible garbage they were giving her. And she actually is a very good wrestler if they let her, be a good wrestler. So faster crappy for Piper Niven, and I hope to see her back on the TV sometime soon, and I hope she's okay. Anyways, the women's triple threat. The women's triple threat between Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton was a very, very good match. It was very entertaining. It was a very good back and forth. There's really two things that this match delivered that just made it go off the rails. First of all, Nia Jax whipped Jade hard into the steps and cut her all the way open. And I think this is funny because Nia Jax, for the longest time, was seen as an unsafe worker. Well, when she came back, she started to be seen as a little bit more of a safe worker, and she wasn't injuring people as often. Well, now she's gone and did this, and this is 100% her fault. You can't tell me otherwise. She Irish whipped her when she was that close to the steps, and she still shoved her, so that's the whole reason that Jade wasn't able to protect herself that fast. So Nia makes Jade cut herself open. And then we get to the end of the match where I think Nia gets hit with a black hole slam from Jade, or the Eye of the Storm, whatever. Jade covers her, and Tiffany's a little bit late to kick it out, so Nia has to kick out. Well, then I think we're supposed to go into the pin immediately after. The ref sees that, hey, we can't do the pin now because Nia Jax just kicked out. Why would she just get pinned right after? But they still went for it. Nia Jax doesn't kick out. The ref doesn't count. And it just looked completely and utterly stupid. And I don't blame the ref at all, because that would have been a terrible ending. I get sometimes when the ref messes up, yeah, whatever, because it's a decent ending still. Nia Jax just kicked out of the move. Why would she then get pinned by it a whole 10 seconds later by Tiffany Stratton? I think Tiffany should have just gone up and done the moonsault anyways, because I felt like that should have been how this match ended. Now, when you look at this match that they were having that was very good, very entertaining, it's going to forever be looked at as the match that happened in, where the ref messed up, or Tiffany messed up, or Nia messed up, whoever you want to blame. I think it was just a communication error. Like I said, I think Tiffany should have just gone up, seeing that Nia Jax kicked out. She should have not just tried to pin her after that, because I think that would have just been weird if that's how it did end. Jacob Fatu made his return. He's been gone for a couple weeks, a month. I don't remember last time I seen Jacob Fatu, but it seemed like he was finally going to get pushed out of the Bloodline story, and it looks like he finally is. He's starting a feud with Drew McIntyre, and that's a very, very mouth-watering feud. The promo work between these two is going to be great. I mean, Jacob Fatu's not the best on the mic, but he definitely gets his point across very well, and Drew McIntyre is one of the best on the mics. I think their promo battles are going to be fun, and their actual match is probably going to be very good, so I'm excited for this feud and where this is going. Hopefully it means a pay-per-view match for Drew McIntyre and for Jacob Fatu sometime down the line, maybe even at War Games, or maybe it's probably Saturday night's main event, to be completely honest. That's probably where it will be. Finally, the NXT versus TNA has been announced to finally be an actual thing. So we had NXT invading TNA last week, TNA invading NXT, and we've had these guys going back and forth, these brands. And now it looks like we're finally going to get an Invasion pay-per-view that was announced here soon for TNA and NXT, and we're gonna have, I think they said, a women's and a men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series-esque elimination match. So I'm just gonna give you my dream team right now for who I would pick, and or who I think makes the most sense to be in these matches real quick. So for the women's, I put it would probably be Zaruka, and this is, okay, real quick, this is just saying that the women's titles aren't going to be defended on the show, because I don't know if they are or not, but if they're not, obviously the biggest champions are going to be on the team, right? So Zaruka, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan, I think is going to be the team of NXT, maybe swapping Lola Vice for a Fallon Henley in there, or something like that. While the team TNA will probably be Masha Slamovich, the Elegance brand, Cassie and Jesse would be my guess for the 5, with maybe, you could probably put Xia Li in there. I can't remember what her name on TNA is for some reason right now, or even Tessa, but I don't see them putting Tessa in there, because she has had no contact with the WWE at all. All those other ones for at least one match has been over to NXT. So that's what I think the women's could be. For men's, I think Obafemi will be on the NXT team, and I think he'll be there until then. I think that's when he'll probably get called up after that. But Obafemi, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Miles Bourne, and Joe Hendry, I think, is going to end up having a pick between TNA and NXT in this thing. I hope they make this make sense, and then Joe Hendry ends up picking Team NXT, because of course he's signed to WWE now. And I think Team TNA will probably be Mike Santana, Moose, Matt Cardona, Nick Nemeth I threw in there, and then Elijah. I picked Elijah, Moose, and Mike Santana because they're very heavily featured on NXT, so they make the most sense to be there. While Matt Cardona finally showed up on NXT, and Nick Nemeth hasn't yet. I don't think he was in the Brawl, hasn't yet showed up, but I think it'd be really cool if he did. So I tried to pick the ones that made the most sense there. I could see like a Leon Slater or a Frankie Kazarian being thrown in there. But either way, I'm really excited for this NXT versus TNA stuff. And I love this partnership. It's been really fun so far, just never knowing who's going to show up. But that is all I got for you guys. That is all of Weekly Awards. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave in the comments if I gave any award to the wrong person. While you're down there, don't forget the like button. Go ahead and subscribe for me. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when I drop a video like this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I had real tough love, I'm bad at this, and I'm bad for this.
Narcissistic tendencies, I don't care about no one else. Narcissistic tendencies, I'm low, so set me on the shelf. Few people ever have my back, yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
And I think the men's team should be Obafemi, because I think Obafemi is going to get called up probably shortly after this. I think it's probably like his last appearance on TV. Javon Page, Ethan Page, oh my God.